What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Can you hear me? Yes. It's Pastor Alex Bryant. Welcome to Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. We are live on Tuesday, February 4th. I am in crazy California, so remote. I'm at a hotel. So in Sacramento, California, about ready to get on a plane here in about 2 hours. But I got time to give you the Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant today. It's going to be a good show. I think I might have a special guest for you. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes this guest is a little bit finicky. Maybe, yes, no. We'll see. You'll know if you ever listen to me on the radio. This guest was a popular one. Everyone loved to hear from this special guest. So we'll see if we can get the guest on the line. So I've been out in California this weekend, time of ministry here, came and spoke at Bear Creek Community Church. Pastor Paul and Ashley Earwood, they are killing it out here. I don't know, 800, 900,000 people in their church, very diverse church. I spoke on what it means to be a godly man, to man up. You guys know I have a book called Man Up. It's a guide to godly masculinity. And so they're doing a series about being committed. And my task was to speak on being a committed man. So I did that. It was a great service, man. About 30 people came to know Jesus. So that's always good, man. So whenever you have the opportunity to give a altar call and see people come, and then afterwards they baptize, I don't know, a dozen or 15 or so. So it's kind of neat there. But anyway, I will get on a plane here in a little bit. I'll head to Idaho, Nampa, Idaho. I understand it's about 14 degrees there. I'll be speaking at a school there, spiritual emphasis week, in a conference, in a church, all that good stuff. So that's what I'll be doing. So I'll be remote this week, Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. And it'll be a little bit abbreviated, but we still have some stuff we got to discuss. So let me tell you what's up today. I'm going to give you what's the big deal. We're going to be talking, you know what the big deal is. What everybody's been talking about all weekend. What have they been talking about? It's Donald Trump and the tariffs. The Democrats are going crazy. The hair's on fire. What's he going to do? How's that going to happen? He's going to mess up our country. What's the price of eggs going to be like? I thought you were going to be things are going to be cheaper day one. Man, the Democrats and the people that can't stand Trump, it's kind of funny to watch. It really actually is kind of funny to watch them because they on all over, man, Facebook and everything, they just keep putting, what's the cost of eggs at now? And this guy's like making deals and working on our behalf, and people just don't even know, and they're hating on him. But it is what it is. I actually feel bad for people because, there's a lot of change. Change isn't always the best thing. People don't like change, and it affects them differently. But right now, before change even happens, it's what they perceive. My special guest just came in all loud and everything, but that's how my special guest rolls. So, but people don't like change, and they're nervous, they're afraid, and some of them just they don't like Trump. I mean, I've been talking about that for a while, just how really Trump derangement, it is a thing. I mean, people just don't like him. The media's done a great job of painting him to be this terrible, evil person. And so therefore, since he's a terrible, evil person, we don't have to give him the benefit of the doubt. We don't have to like him. We don't have to like anything that he stands for. And it's really been death by a thousand cuts. They came on first painting him as a racist, which you guys know how I feel about that. I take issue with that because we as a Black person, I deal with true racism. I have in the past. And so I don't like it when we manufacture racism or try to ascribe racism to something that's really not. It's just a way to try to cancel or to get people to a collective demonization. Racism is a powerful tool that people try to use. So first it was that, but then he's immoral, and then he's not nice, and then he's mean. He doesn't like women. He's sexist. He's xenophobic. He's homophobic. I mean, they just tried to label this guy and everything, and they just kept cutting him. This death by 1,000 cuts, and people just started to believe he eats too much ice cream. He weighs too much. He's too many. His hair's bad. I mean, just whatever. He's Orange Man. Just whatever they could, and it's like, come on, man, enough is enough. Let's cut that mess out. But so anyway, for us, some of us, we got to see past that because we have to get to the leadership and the policies. And that's really where we're at as a country. And it's the policies that make a difference for me. That's where I look at. So we got some thoughts on it. Over the weekend, Trump, he's been talking about the way that he's going to govern, and it's with these tariffs. And so that's what we're going to do. But we're going to get into that. And then we'll talk about, I'll give you a couple of stories, what people are talking about. And then we're going to have to end the show because I'm going to get on a plane. But let's get it started. I'm going to go into my first story, and then I'll introduce my special guest. My special guest has arrived on set, and when I say on set, that means that my special guest just made her way back into the hotel room. So let's go ahead and get it popping with our opening segment, friends, with What's the Big Deal?
What's the big deal? Opening news story.
Oh yeah, we are back. We have the special guest. She's live here with me. And if you listen to me on the radio, you know who she is. Everybody loves her. They like it when she's on. She doesn't ever want to be on. Guys, I got a coach. I got to coerce. I got to beg, borrow, and deal to get her on. But she's here. My mom, Barbara Houston. What's up, Mom? Say what's up.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
So, Mom, what are you doing out here?
I'm coming to see California, and I came to hear him speak. Did a great job. But I had never been to California, and this was my opportunity. They didn't want me to drive, so he thought he better bring me along while he could. So I'm in California, where it's wet and rainy right now.
It is. Okay, here's the deal. My mom, can I tell how old you are now?
You done told it many times.
My mom is 70 years old, and she was telling me and my sisters, I got two sisters, I think I'm going to take a road trip to California.
Yes,
we're like, Mom, who are you going with? Nobody, I'm going by myself. So my mom thinks she's going to drive 1,500 miles to California when the woman can't drive at night. I mean, she falls asleep whenever she gets anywhere. How's this lady thinking she's going to road trip? So no, you're not going to road trip, Mom.
It's called hotels. Drive during the day. When you're tired, pull over, get a room.
It would take you 9 days to drive here.
And that'll be a road trip.
Anyway, so so this is my mom, Barbara Houston. And so, Mom, let's talk about some things. We're out here in crazy California, and we're in Northern California. So we went. You want to tell the people what you did? You kind of went to what things you saw. Went to San Francisco.
Well, we went there first thing because we arrived early enough. We went to see the Golden Gate Bridge. First thing we did was go to In-N-Out Burger. They are good.
Yeah, it's a good Christian place.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Good food there. And then we went to the Golden Gate Bridge, went to San Francisco, saw the wharf.
Wharf, yep.
The wharf. Went down this crooked road.
Lombard Road.
Lombard Road. Really crazy, scary thing. And then we went to different other places.
Giordano's, we saw
we
chocolate.
saw that. It's a lot of things we saw. It was wet and rainy is the only thing. I thought it was going to be sunny California, but it was wet and rainy.
It still is on our way out. So we saw Alcatraz and out there.
Right.
So, and then went to Sacramento yesterday. Went to church at Bear Creek Community Church. So
Old Town California.
Old Town California.
Vineyards out of the Galoo. I mean, there's so many vineyards out here, and what is almond trees?
Almonds and dates. So yeah,
trees.
They got the vineyards. I tried to keep. My mom is a heathen. She wanted to go and drink some wine, but I was like, Mom, we're not doing that.
Really?
What did I say? I'm just teasing. Just
really. People might believe that.
Mom, you got to joke sometimes. People don't.
But they don't know that.
I just said I'm joking.
I don't drink. God delivered me from that, so I don't drink.
Mom, would you rather drink a cup of wine or vote for Kamala Harris?
Are you kidding me?
Which one do you have to do?
I'm not going to vote for Kamala Harris.
So you have to drink a cup of wine?
Well, I'm going to try not to do that, but I'm not voting for Kamala. It's not going to happen. No,
All
no
right.
Kamala.
Okay, so let's get into a couple things. What's the big deal? Trump and the art of the deal. Okay, so here's the deal. We look at all these tariffs, and we've seen it all weekend. Trump has been saying he's going to govern. But you can stick around. You might got something to say, huh? You guys like to see? We like to see it over here because we got to get your thought on this one. Okay, let me set it up, and then I'm going to get your thoughts on this. Okay, so Trump, he's been saying all these different things. I mean, like, hey, Mexico's taking advantage of us. Canada, they're letting drugs and everything through the border. It's not good. And he's been saying, if China, they're sitting over fentanyl. And Trump is realizing that our economy, we got the golden economy, and he's leveraging that. And so his talks about tariffs is all about leverage. He realizes that these countries need us more than we need them. So, for example, let's talk about this. Mexico, they 35% of their GDP to the United States. That's like all the things that are produced in their country. 35% of it comes and it's sold in the United States. Canada, 22% of everything, their GDP, gross domestic products, it's sold in the United States. Those countries need us. 35%, everything Mexico makes comes from, it goes in the United States. 22%, everything Canada makes comes to the United States. So basically, that's a lot. They're selling to our U.S. consumers. Now, on the flip side of that, only about 1.2% of everything that the United States makes goes into Mexico, and 1.5% goes to Canada. So, who's going to win this tariff war? Who's going to play the game? They need us, and Trump knows this. Mom, when you talk about Trump and all these tariffs and stuff, were you scared that your prices were going to go up and everything?
Absolutely not. I wasn't scared. I just think that he's being smart. He knows the deals and stuff, and he knows that these countries have been taking advantage of us, and he's willing to do something about it. A lot of them hadn't been willing to do something about it. I believe they knew, but they wasn't willing to do what they needed to do to correct the problem.
That's the thing. And I mean, you're absolutely right. We know we're going to take advantage of President Biden.
They all know.
They all knew it, but they weren't willing to do what it takes to correct it. So now, and I'm going to let you last question over here because she's itching to go and get ready and get her coffee and all that stuff. But so you trust President Trump?
I really do. I really trust him. I see God's hand on him, and I know I've been praying that God would just use him, put people in places and give them an assignment that they need to be in. I just trust him, and I think the American people do too. That's why they elected him. The popular vote overwhelmingly, they trust him. We don't trust the government that was in there before, but we do trust this man. We think he knows what he's talking about, and they respect him. And I think he'll get her done.
She said, get her done. High five, Bob. Get her done. So that was easy. Welcome to Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant and Barbara Houston. So thanks for coming on the show today. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to keep breaking this down. Here's Trump's position on tariffs. I'm going to play this clip. This is what he has to say. So check this out.
No, I'm not concerned. We may have short-term a little pain, and people understand that. But long-term, the United States has been ripped off by virtually every country in the world. We have deficits with almost every country. Not every country, but almost. And we're going to change it. It's been unfair. That's why we owe $36 trillion. We have deficits with everybody. We help everybody. We've been helping everybody for years. And to be honest, I don't think they appreciate it. So we're going to change that. We're going to change it fast. We're going to make America great again. We have to focus on our country. We have tremendous potential if properly used, and we have to focus on our country. Tremendous deficits with China, tremendous deficits with the European Union, tremendous deficits with Mexico and Canada. And why? What's the purpose of that? Why would we have deficits? And you look at, if you look at pharmaceuticals and drugs, if you look at various products, it's much cheaper in other countries. We're not going to allow that much longer. We're not going to take it.
So there you go. Trump is saying it. That's his position. He's like, we're not going to take it. We've been being taken advantage of. We're tired of it. Did you guys hear me? I think I might have it mute. So there it is. That's his position. He's like, these countries have been taking advantage of us. We're not going to take it. And Trump knows the way the American people feel. That's the way a lot of us feel. When I look, we don't dive into the numbers of stuff, but Trump's the kind of leader that does. Other politicians, they're so busy lining their own pocket, getting rich in their own family, keeping the status quo. But when Trump comes with his America First policies, we identify with that because I don't want to get into the weeds of gross domestic product, but I'm glad that Trump is. I'm glad that he knows that Mexico needs us more than we need them. They're sending 35% of their products to us. They have to have the American people buying our products. So then why are we just stupidly allowing them to send fentanyl across the border with the cartels? It's like they're playing both sides, and we're allowing that to happen. And I know people that have died of fentanyl overdose. I'm sure that you have. 300,000 people, Americans, are dying every single year of this fentanyl overdoses. That's like 900 people every day that are being, and we know how it's happening. And if we don't do anything about it, then that's on us. Then we're, like Trump says, we're being stupid. And just that alone, that's one of the reasons why we have to secure the border. They try to get us onto this, well, you're racist or you're xenophobic if you don't want illegal immigrants coming across. We're being played, and it's a common sense thing. Trump knows it, he sees it, and it's about protecting Americans. Fentanyl alone, not even talk about the human trafficking. How many young people have been raped on their trip to try to get here to America? 300,000 kids that have been lost. We don't even know where they're at. This is human stuff here, and this is the real serious deal about it. And so Trump's trying to fix problems, and sometimes when you fix problems, the process doesn't always seem like it's going to be fun, or it might be a little bit tough. Everybody wants their products. We all want our products to go. And so Trump, when I heard him talking about tariffs, I really didn't think that I think that this guy's the art of the deal. He's just using it for his benefit. I mean, he's using it as a negotiation, and obviously it worked because did they cave? Absolutely. Mexico, they have said, oh, well, yeah, we definitely can't, we definitely have to have our products coming over here, and so you look at this was happening all weekend. Critics were blasting the Democrats. They're going, this guy, he's going to make your products. You're not going to get your avocados. You're not going to get your beer in time for the Super Bowl. You're not going to get your products. Chuck Schumer gets up there and he's like, we need these products. They're just trying to scare the American people. And it didn't work because early yesterday, it was announced that Mexico caved, and and then China, or not China, but then later in the day, Canada did. Here's what Trump himself had to say. Check this out.
Out of the tariffs after you struck a deal with Mexico?
Well, nobody's out with Mexico. We had a great talk with Mexico, and we had President Sheinbaum is a woman. I like her very much. We've had good relationships, but we have to stop fentanyl from coming in, whether I like somebody or not, and we have to stop the illegal aliens from coming in. I think we've lost 200,000 people on average a year for many years, much higher than the 100,000, could be even closer to 300,000. And they've agreed to put in 10,000 soldiers permanently, like forever, 10,000 soldiers at their side of the border and stop fentanyl and illegal aliens from coming into our country. They have a big incentive to do. Other than that, we've agreed to talk and consider various other things. We haven't agreed on tariffs yet, and maybe we will, maybe we won't. But we have a very good relationship. I also spoke with Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada, and we had a good talk in the morning, but I did ask him a couple of questions, like, banks aren't allowed to do business in Canada. Canada is very tough. Canada is very, we're not treated well by Canada, and we have to be treated well.
I mean, the guy's saying it. I mean, he's just calmly, matter-of-factly, he's looking out for us, and that's what you need in a leader. It's America first, and that's what we want. We got to have our president standing up for us and saying, no, this isn't the way that it's supposed to be. And my goal is just to see, I mean, first of all, let's just wait and trust the process. We do that with our leaders. The guy had a plan. He identified the problem. He wants to fix the massive problem, which is we have too much drugs coming across our border. We know that the cartels are playing a part in it. We know that Mexico is complicit. We know that China is sending the fentanyl to try to poison our young military age fighting men and women. Those are the ones dying. 100, 200, 300,000 of our Americans are dying every year. We know that we have an open border. These things aren't right, and so we got to fix them. And so let's calm down. Let's trust the process. Let's let the guy work. We got to let Trump cook. Let the brother cook. And so the results are amazing because even his critics, by the end of the beginning of the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you watch all the political shows. They're going, yeah, how's it going to work out for you? Tariffs are coming 24 hours away. And then all of a sudden, right before it happens, Mexico's like, wait a minute, hold on. We don't need these tariffs. This is what we're willing to do. We'll send 10,000 troops to our southern border. So we'll stop the people from coming into Mexico. That's what Trump wanted in the first place. The last time under his last presidency, they sent 8,000 troops. This time they said, hey, we'll send 10,000 troops. We'll stop them from coming through the southern border so that they won't go into Mexico or come into the United States illegally. Canada, the same thing. Canada's like, okay, hold on. We don't need these tariffs because we still need to send 22% of our products to you. So they're going to send 10,000 military troops to the northern border. People don't realize this. A lot of the terrorist people that are coming in to the United States, since we got these open borders, they're starting to come in through Canada, and we know that the numbers show that. And so Canada's also pledged 1.3 billion for border security. They're going to appoint a fentanyl czar because they know we're getting it here. They're developing a strike force, and then they're giving 200 million in intelligence directives. So Canada's putting their own money, their own resources to helping us protect our border. Why? Because they want to ship 22% of their products to our country. That's called leverage. And Trump knows how to play the game. And whether you like him or not, that's the art of the deal. That is the art of the deal right there. So by the middle of Monday, let me give you this update. Here's where we stand. Play this clip.
The president's threats of economic punishment for neighbors he did not think respected American borders enough worked. There are not going to be any new tariffs on Canada or Mexico for at least another 30 days. China is a different story.
I don't know anything about a comeback, but they tell me it's very exciting.
By sending 10,000 Mexican troops to the U.S. border, Mexico's president delayed tariffs by a month. Canada's prime minister says they're implementing our $1.3 billion border plan, sending nearly 10,000 frontline personnel to the northern border, appointing a fentanyl czar, and so proposed tariffs will be paused for at least 30 days. That announcement came after the second Trump-Trudeau call of the day.
Canada's very tough.
43 pounds of fentanyl was seized at the northern border last year, a fraction of the 20,000 pounds seized at the southern border.
This is not a trade war. This is a drug war.
The tariffs on Mexico and Canada are just paused. In a month, if they are imposed, Democrats warn prices could go up.
It's going to affect beer, okay? It's going to affect your guac.
The president's team argues that's not as important as stopping fentanyl components.
Anybody who's talking about inflation right now is dishonoring the men and women and children who have died at the hands of Chinese, Mexican, Canadian fentanyl coming across our borders.
And that'll be subject of a White House Beijing call within 24 hours about planned tariffs on China that will start at 10%.
China hopefully is going to stop sending us fentanyl. And if they're not, the tariffs are going to go substantially higher.
What I think is sad is Chuck Schumer, one of the Democrat leaders, is up there going, hey, you don't want these tariffs because you're not going to be able to get drunk, beer, and guacamole. But what are they doing to try to stop the fentanyl? See, that's the thing. It's like, this is real life. People are dying. We can't get sidetracked on the little peripheral stuff. And, man, it's sad. And I'm just glad that, Trump is got his eye on the real prize. And he's winning. And he said, you're going to get tired of winning. So, are you tired of winning? Because here's the scoreboard so far. In just 2 weeks of the brothers' presidency, Mexico caved. They're going to secure their southern border to help us secure our southern border. Panama, I don't know if you saw this, they're caving because remember, Trump's like, hey, we need the Panama Canal back. China's doing it. So they're saying, well, we're going to cancel, the agreement that we had with them, the memorandum of understanding, because they were letting China control that port, the Panama Canal. Colombia, they've caved. You remember that when Trump said, "Hey, we're sending your people back," and they said, "No, we're not taking them." And then Trump's like, "Oh yeah, you're not taking them? Tariffs for you." And then the next thing you know, they tweet out, "Oh, we're going to send the presidential plane to pick up those people. We'd be happy to take our criminals back, President Trump." Venezuela caved. Remember, I don't know if you know this or not, but 500 to 600,000 Venezuelans have come into the United States in the last 4 years under President Joe Biden. And a lot of them are from the drugs. They literally just open up their drugs, or no, a lot of them are from the jails. They literally open up their jails and they just send these criminals over here. That's terrible. And they weren't going to take them back. The Biden administration had an understanding where we'd resettle Venezuelans and we wouldn't deport them and send them back. Well, Trump sent Rick Grinnell down there, which Rick Grinnell, by the way, he's a local Springfield Evangel guy. He graduated from Evangel University and then went on to Harvard. But he said he went down there, and now all of a sudden Venezuela's like, "Hey, we got some prisoners that you guys might want to take here. As good faith, we'll give you these 6 prisoners, and then yeah, we'll go ahead and take our prisoners back." They're caving because people need the golden economy. Canada caved. We see that. They've already started mass deportations of some of the worst, the rapists, the murderers that Trump told us in 2016 that these other countries are sending. Um, again, the hostages are home. These are things that are you tired of winning? Are you tired of winning? Trump is attacking the DEI programs. He's ending a lot of that. Bureaucracies are being slashed. I'm going to be talking about U.S. aid here in a second. People don't like that because it's like, well, as soon as they're starting to save your taxpayer dollars, other people are starting to go, yeah, but what about this Head Start or this charity over here might lose their funding. And you know what? I hope good charities and good aid money is not going to be cut. But in the meantime, you got to stop it somewhere. It's like this. When you in your house or in my house, when we say, "Hey, listen, we're putting a budget freeze on. We got a budget freeze. We're stopping everything. We're not going to be putting out more money." And we got 5 kids. So when I say something like that, all of a sudden it's like, "Wait, well, what about this expense? What about that expense?" I'm like, "Well, we're going to evaluate everything, but for now, no, we're going to stop it right now." That's a wise thing to do, and that's what Trump's doing. That's what this Doge is. We know that our government's too big. Our government's taking too much of your money and my money, our tax dollars. And Trump is saying, we want to evaluate that. We want to shrink government. We want to get rid of the waste, the fraud, and the abuse, because there's a lot of that. And don't let other people try to scare you into, oh, they're cutting this program, they're cutting that program. Some things are going to be evaluated. But I trust and believe that at the end of the day, we'll get it all right. The good aid's going to go out. The good grants are going to be given. But for now, I'm tired of all this stuff. So you look at the purge and the FBI, it's underway. The gender ideology has been eliminated. Trump said in the United States, there's 2 genders, male and female. That's the way the Bible says it. God made them male and female. You know I'm all for that. Genesis chapter 2, what's up? He's even starting to look at the intel department. These 51 intelligence agents, they lost their clearings. The ones that said that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian misinformation, they lied. And now Trump's holding them accountable. See, that's the deal. Accountability. I like that. There hasn't been a lot of accountability, but Trump's bringing it back. So that's the deal. Are you tired of winning? We will see the brothers making some stuff happening. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So, hey, let's keep this moving. I just got another couple minutes because I got to leave to get on a plane. And but I want to go into a couple of top stories of the day. So let's give me my segment opener for that. Top stories of the day. I got a couple of them for you.
Top stories of the day.
All right, top stories of the day. Before I do that, let me just give a shout out to my guy Frizz. He's back there in Missouri, back in the studios in Rogersville at 417 Planet 417. And man, we're trying to give you a show. I'm in California, Frontline Faith. I've been out here. There's my guy Frizz. What up? So we got my mom Barb. Mom,
What's up? What's up?
My mom Barb, she's here with me. She was on a little bit. Mom,
Hello.
Mama Houston, there she is.
Good morning. Not so sunny California.
Yeah, we've been out here for ministry, and my mom came for the first time here in California, and it isn't sunny.
Not so sunny.
Looks like it's still raining out there.
It's still rainy. It's raining out there.
So
the vineyard's right outside the window.
Yeah, the vineyard's out there. My mom's been going over there and testing the wine and stuff.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. She's leaving on that one. Okay, just kidding. My mom does not drink. Just for the record, she does not drink. All right, so here's a couple things. You guys, I don't know if you've been hearing the stories about the U.S. aid. What is that all about? USAID. So basically, this is foreign assistance agency that the Trump administration, they want to shut it down. So it started in 1961 by JFK, John F. Kennedy. It was remember, he's the one that started the Peace Corps. Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. That's the JFK. And so it was a government agency, and they give aid to inside the United States, and then a lot of it has gone outside of the United States, and they receive this funding from Congress. And Trump is evaluating this as a part of Doge, and he's saying, "What are you doing? What are you giving out?" And so basically, this organization's grown so big, they've grown so large, they've grown so independent. And Marco Rubio said this: they want to take the money, they want to take your taxpayer dollars, my taxpayer dollars, and it's so far left leaning that they are giving funds to countries, to organizations, to people that do not reflect our values and our interests, and they don't want any accountability. And Trump's like, it ain't going to go down like that. So he's going to shut it down. He wants to rein it in because the aid they're giving out, it doesn't go along with his administration's policies. Here's what Marco Rubio had to say about USAID.
Well, look, I mean, my frustration with USAID goes back to my time in Congress. It's a completely unresponsive agency. It's supposed to respond to policy directives of the State Department, and it refuses to do so. So the functions of USAID, there are a lot of functions of USAID that are going to continue, that are going to be part of American foreign policy, but it has to be aligned with American foreign policy. I said very clearly during my confirmation hearing that every dollar we spend and every program we fund, that will be aligned with the national interest of the United States. And USAID has a history of sort of ignoring that and deciding that there's somehow a global charity separate from the national interest. These are taxpayer dollars.
See, that's the thing. You can't be aside from what the United States, what our interests are. You're getting our money, our taxpayer dollars. They have to line up with what we want, with what our values are. Now, there's no denying that from one administration to the next, from the Biden administration to the Trump, values and policies and agendas are different. Well, Trump was voted to be president. The American people spoke. He won the Electoral College vote and he won the popular vote. A lot of people said, we don't want all this crazy radical gender ideology. Now, I think most Americans would agree adults can do what they want to do. I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. I do believe that the Bible says that homosexuality is wrong. It's a sin. So I believe that. But so is sex outside of marriage. That's a sin as well. Heterosexual sex that's not within the confines of marriage. And so all sin is wrong. All sin should be, as a pastor, I should speak against all sin. That's the way it is. Now, God has set it up, though, free for you and I to have free will. And in America, people can live how they want to live. I wish that America and all Americans lived according to the values in the Bible. I wish that everyone held the Bible as the ultimate source of truth like I do, but a lot of people don't. And you know what? There's freedom to do that in America. That's just the way it is. So I agree that adults can do what adults want to do. If somebody wants to be gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, you're an adult, you do you. But I think that what we've seen over the last few years is how that agenda has been taken to our kids. And that just even makes people that aren't living according to the values of the Bible go, wait a minute, something's wrong with that. You can't touch our kids. We don't need that stuff going to our kids. And that's what's been happening. There's been an agenda, a radical left agenda that is out to indoctrinate our children in ways that really, that's not right. Number one, it's not healthy for them. They're getting gender dysphoria, confusion, and as a result, they're getting depressed, anxious. A lot of them are committing suicide. And but also it just goes against biblical values. It's trying to indoctrinate them to live a life and to join a lifestyle that will not be easy for them to find their faith. And I believe that faith in God. And so this USAID program or government agency, they're getting our taxpayer dollars and they're just sending money to other places, and it was according to what the Biden administration wanted. Let me give you some of the things that they've been spending money to that's been exposed over the last um, few weeks here. And this is where Trump, Elon Musk, they're going in, they're evaluating all this stuff. Again, our taxpayer dollars. I think they said that there's about $70 billion that this USAID they get from the federal government, and they send it whoever they want to. And they're saying, we'll do what we want to. We're outside of you. We don't need accountability from you. And Marco Rubio's going, but wait, you're getting money from us. Well, we don't have to be accountable to you. Nah, bro, it doesn't roll like that. So they've spent $55 million to boost tourism in Egypt and Tunisia. That's what USAID did. They spent 56 million of our American taxpayer dollars to try to get more tourists to go to Egypt and Tunisia. Why? They sent 40 million to build schools in Jordan. I mean, I want to help other countries, but dang, we need stuff here in the United States. Here's another one. They spent 20 million to bring Sesame Street to Iraq. Big Bird, we're spending 20 million of our U.S. taxpayer dollars to make sure that they get Sesame Street in Iraq. Why? When you got victims down there of the hurricane in North Carolina, they're fighting to get a house. They're fighting for a hotel, and we're sending $20 million to get Sesame Street in Iraq. Here's another crazy one. They sent 11 million to tell Vietnamese people to stop burning their trash. Why? Well, because those fumes are not good for the environment, global warming. So let's spend $11 million to tell the Vietnamese people stop burning your trash. I don't understand this. 27 million for reintegration of the gift bags for deported Central Americans. So for the Central Americans that have been deported back to their country, we're sending $27 million to give them nice gift bags to help them to reintegrate back into their culture and their society. $2.5 million spent to send DEI to Serbia to teach them the DEI principles, diversity, equity, inclusion in Serbia. The list goes on and on. I mean, on and on and on. 70,000 on Irish DEI musical, a musical in Ireland that's DEI. We gave them a $70,000 grant. $47,000 grant on transgender operas in Colombia because it pushes the agenda there, the transgender. $32,000 on trans comic book in Peru. It goes on and on and on. And this is stuff that our taxpayer dollars are being used for. And Trump and with his administration, he's saying, no, USAID, you got to be reined in. We're not rolling like that. So that's one of the top stories. And then let me give you the other top story. And again, this is Alex Bryant. I'm coming with you, Frontline Faith, from California. I'm in Sacramento. I'm about ready to leave to go to the airport. So it's going to be a short, abbreviated show today. But I'm going to give you this last one. The Senate confirmations, that's all going on. Now, hold on a second. My special guest is making a lot of noise during the show. Special guest, we are trying to do a show over here.
What's that?
Yeah, we're trying to do a show over here. Special guest. Did you hear that, Frizz? Were you listening? And she's still making noise. The special guest. So my mom came to California with me. She's never been out here before. And so I brought her. We're about ready to leave to go to the airport. And she's making all kinds of noise over here. So, all right, there we go. All right, so here's my last top story. The Senate, the confirmation hearings. You guys know what's going on with that. There's Trump has his cabinet picks, and they got to be confirmed by the Senate. They are, here's the three that are really everyone's looking at: Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, and RFK Jr. So those are the ones that are still in question. This week should know. As a matter of fact, right now, RFK Jr., that vote is in committee. So what happens is they go before the hearings in the Senate. The Senate has to confirm all of the picks, right? And it's supposed to be, does this person have the qualifications and do they have the character? That's what it should be. And I'm sorry, if the president, you're vetted, if you have the qualifications and if you have the values, if why can't you do this? Why should it just be almost a rubber stamp? that we let Biden have whoever he wanted. Some of these Republicans in the Senate who are fighting against Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel and RFK Jr., they voted for anybody and everybody that Joe Biden wanted. I just wonder why. And so these three, they've been grilled in their prospective Senate committees, and they have to be confirmed within the committees in order to get to the full Senate vote. So it's uncertain whether RFK Jr. will make it out of committee. Remember, he is the former Democrat. He's in the committee that's coming out of it. There's 27 members in the committee, and it's composed of 14 Republicans and 13 Democrats. Kennedy, he's going to need a majority of the votes in order to advance out of the committee. So that means in this committee, there is Senator Bill Cassidy, he's the Republican for Louisiana. He's a doctor. He's expressed concern over Kennedy's claims about vaccines. Kennedy's come out, he wrote his book on the real Anthony Fauci, RFK Jr. A lot of people like what he's saying about these vaccines. He's exposing a lot of them. He's talked about stuff like the red dye, saying, hey, it might cause cancer. And, you know, they labeled him a conspiracy theory a few years ago. But now people are coming to say, now the CDC is going, yeah, maybe we shouldn't use red dye. And now it's not, they're taking it out of all our stuff because it could cause cancer. He's raised concerns about autism. Some of the vaccines cause autism. And he's saying we at least need to investigate this stuff. And people say, well, no, you're against vaccines. He's going, no, I'm not against them, but it's not settled science. And so, man, the committee, they're voting whether to bring him out because Trump says he wants to make America healthy again. And we need him. That's convicting to me. I'm a big dude. I'm overweight. It's convicting. And we do need to get more healthy in America. And I think RFK Jr. will put an emphasis on that. He's obviously qualified. The guy's a doctor. The guy's studied. He's got the moral values. So what are we waiting for? Just because you disagree with him doesn't mean that you can't let Trump have who he wants in there. So that's the deal there. And then, so we'll see. They're voting on that right now. Then you have Kash Patel. They seem to be slow walking that. He's Trump's pick to be over the FBI. They're slow walking that. The Senate committee, they can mull it over. I don't know if it's as long as they want, but they're doing a good job of mulling it over. They're not giving any indication of when they're going to take it to a full Senate vote, but they need to because we need some change in the FBI there. And then Tulsi Gabbard, she's gained support. She's still in committee. She's gained support from a couple key GOP senators. She's the former Democrat congresswoman from Hawaii. She ran for president a couple years back for Democrats. And but then she's left the Democrat Party, and now she is a Republican. She picked up 2 key Republican votes on Monday, just yesterday. Senators Susan Collins and James Lankford, they said, yeah, we'll vote for her. So both have previously been critical of her past statements on Edward Snowden and her opposition of government surveillance programs. So Snowden, if you remember, he is the guy that was WikiLeaks helped with that and just kind of putting out some of the government secrets. And they've been critical of that with her. So that's the deal there. So, but Gabbard, she can only afford to lose 1 Republican vote on the committee, and so we'll see where that goes. Those 3 key people, Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, RFK Jr., we'll see where that goes this week over the next couple of days. So those are your top stories. Hey, that's all I got time for. I got to get ready to roll out of here. I got to get on a plane and head to Idaho. I'm going there for a week of ministry, about 4 or 5 days. I'll be traveling home Super Bowl Sunday, and then I'll head to Memphis. You guys saw the video. I don't know if you saw it, but our son Mason, we had his bell ringing ceremony at the Mercy Hospital there, the St. Jude's affiliate. That was last Thursday. We got our family in. He'll go to the bell ringing. That's the end of his treatment there at the Mercy Clinic there. We'll go down to Memphis, St. Jude's there next week, and he'll be there for a week of meetings with his doctors and all that, and he'll get another bell ringing there. So I'll be there for that on Monday. But all things are great, man. Thank you guys for watching, and sorry for the abbreviated show, Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. But that's all I got time for today. Frizz, thanks for what you do. Thanks for keeping it real there. Back in Missouri, we'll be back with Thursday with another show, Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. Next week, I'll be back in the studio. And that's all I got. Until next time, I'm out. Word.